Well, hey guys, what is going on out there today? It is Brent Abel here, webtennis.com. Another episode of 7 Around 7. Happy Monday, start to a new week. And yeah, today I'm going to ask you guys to get a pen, pencil, whatever you got, writing utensil, maybe take some notes on your computer, some paper, because I'm going to put your feet to the fire this morning, and let's see who's real about this whole thing about getting better with their game. So get that ready. In the meantime, look, a couple things, guys. If you're brand new to web tennis and my online coaching and teaching, welcome. I've got a couple free courses I want to get to you as soon as we're done with today's 7 Around 7. Just go over to webtennis.com, drop in a first name and email address, and you'll get access to I think I've got 3 courses up there that are no charge. The most popular one currently is the top spin second serve, trying to help you eliminate double faults as much as possible. And then actually, even if you're getting that second serve in play, how to make sure that it's just not sitting up on a silver platter for that returner to just unload, right? So I want to show you how to get some more racket speed, some more natural racket speed, and so you can create some more power, but also get the right kind of spin, the upspin that will control couple things. Number one, nice margin of safety over the top of the net, but also a nice bounce out of that service box over there, right? So at worst case, you start the point off neutral, not giving that returner any kind of advantage. Look, guys, if you're into improving, right? And that could mean technique, tactics, mental, physical. If you're at YouTube, click that subscribe button so you get notified whenever I upload new stuff. Or like when we go live, as we are this morning on the 7 Around 7 show. And then look, if you're in kind of that small percentage of players who actually are willing to put in the work, then do me a favor and click the like button, wherever you are. Could be Facebook, could be YouTube, so that I know this is the kind of stuff that you want to be working on. And then the final thing I've got for you, look, if there's some part of your game that you're just not figuring out, again, it could be in one of those 4 categories: technique, tactics, mental, physical. I do offer some private one-on-one online Zoom coaching, right? And we can either use video that you take, you can use some of my video, but whatever it is, it's a great way to get some answers, to get some, a path to be able to work on, to be able to solve that one thing right now that you're just not figuring out. The way to do that, just shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. Let me know you're interested, and I'll get you the details of how it works, price, and all that good stuff. So, guys, today we're going to separate those of you who are here for just pure entertainment, really don't have any desire to up your game, to up your skill level, and that's fine. I've got no problem with that. But I think what you might find, if you're in that group of just looking for, you like the, you love the what's the right shot episodes, and it's just kind of entertaining, then this is not going to be a 7 Around 7 session that you're going to enjoy too much. Just a heads up on that. But look, if you're in that small percentile of players really looking to up your game, then we're going to get serious today about helping you do that this week. So look, as I said at the top, make sure that you've got pen/pencil and some paper, or if you take notes on the computer, that's fine too. But I want to share something with you, kind of a little worksheet that we can go through, and it is right here. And let's see what I've got. Hold on for a sec. Make sure I've got this where I want it. Make it a little bigger for you. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? How about that right there? All right. Hope that you can see that. And again, look, if you guys want these notes, just let me know. But I encourage you to write these notes down yourself. And so look, what's your plan this week to keep working? And I think what I want to do is I want to hide the rest of the stuff so that you don't read forward too much of what I've got planned for you this week. But look, again, why are you here, right? Are you here for 7 Around 7 because you want to be entertained? Or number 2, do you want to put in the time to become a better player? In my experience, is that, and I'm thinking all of the clubs that I've worked at, all of the clubs, several. Thinking most recently California Tennis Club in San Francisco, and also the Tiburon Peninsula Club in Tiburon, North Bay of the Bay Area. Two really great clubs and some unbelievable membership, some great members, and lots of players who wanted to work on their game, right? Who really wanted to. And there were times where I was teaching up to 35 to 40 hours a week, combination of private lessons, maybe semi-privates, along with some group coaching as well. And out of that 35, let's call it 35 hours a week, when I was, really, really crushing it back in the 90s and the early 2000s, is I would say that there was a pretty small percentage of players who just wanted to get out there and just work the ball around, maybe more for exercise, maybe just because, and I had some older students who said, I need to be on the court with you because the guys or the gals at my age group, we can't keep many tennis balls going. So most of the time is spent picking up. So they would come out and I just make sure I work the ball to them every time. Right. So, but that was a small percentage. And then the majority of players really wanted to improve their game. And out of that group of players, there was really a small percentage who were willing to put in the time, willing to put in the work that it takes to actually move the needle, right? Just a little bit. Look, tennis is a tough game, right? This is not an easy sport. And so if you're in that minority of players, and I kind of I remember once going through my lesson book for the following month. I mean, for the past month, looking at all my students and thinking, there's really only about 3 to 5% of my students, and I'm not knocking the rest of them. I'm just saying that there's really only about 3 to 5% who actually want to do the work, right? It's one thing to say, hey, I want to get better. Okay, that's great. But are you willing to do more than go out and take one lesson, even if it's one lesson a week, and kind of hope that 60 minutes on the court with your coach, with your teaching pro, is going to be the thing that's automatically going to click it in for you. So when you go out and play your practice matches, that now all of a sudden you're a better player. There's a big percentage of players that do that. And you know what? They never really get any better. It's probably pretty frustrating. So there's a small percentage. I think it's 3 to 5% of players who actually are willing to do the work. And so what I want you to be thinking about is what's your plan this week to keep working, right? And there's a short little story I'm gonna tell you about what really keep working for me means is I played the National 60 hard courts. This was back in 2009, my second year in the 60s. And look, I put in a lot of work. I spent a lot of time with Michael Wayman the past year over at St. Mary's College. He was the head men's coach over there. And before the fellas came out in the afternoon for their workout, I begged Michael, would you give me some time around noon, a couple days a week, and coach me up. And so we went for about a year before the 2009 hard courts, and we worked. And we mostly worked on just basically, for me, it was more mental with him. My strokes were good. We made a few adjustments, but I worked a lot on the mental stuff with Michael, who by the way, from England, was a great player in the tour, had some great wins, and he was a no nonsense guy. And if you weren't willing to put in the work, if you weren't willing to put in the training to get fit, to be thinking about this stuff off court, he wasn't your guy. He was a little rough around the edges at times, but a really great friend, a great coach, and I learned a lot from him. And so when I played the hard courts that year in 2009, I got in the quarterfinals, and I played this one guy, Mario Cernusek, who is the ultimate pusher. And I don't mean he's just, I mean ultimate in terms of he's got all of the characteristics of what makes this guy scary. And scary in terms of not missing, scary in terms of knowing you And he would kind of customize his little, he would customize his push plan based on your skill set, and he knew how to pick at it. And so I knew when I played him that this was going to be, a blue collar hard hat day. Bring your lunch pail. You better have, 2 lunch pails, because it's not going to be a thing of beauty. And so I win the first set, struggle. I win the set, and then I lose the second set, and we take a little 10-minute break, as you get to do. I'm walking over to the bathroom, the men's room, and Tommy Tucker, who is a longtime teaching pro here at the Mission Hills Country Club, he walks by and he says 2 words to me. He says, "Keep working." And the keep working advice to me meant a couple of things. Number one, you're not going to figure out one thing that is going to all of a sudden flip the whole match around. You're going to have to keep working. You're going to have to keep digging ditches on this thing and get bloodied and dirty, and don't think that there's like a plan D or a plan F that all of a sudden you can kick it in. But the other thing it meant to me was that the work I've been doing with Michael for the last year, which was all about keep working, just keep this third set as the progression, as the next step in what you've been doing. And I ended up winning the match, and ended up winning the tournament, which was my first gold ball, my first national title in singles. And so that was really a really big match for me, and a great lesson that I learned from Tommy, which was to keep working. And so look, with us, it's the same thing. We got to keep working on a daily basis. Now, look, there may be days when you need a day off, man. You're so beat up, but that doesn't mean that you can't be doing some things off the court. Doesn't mean you can't be doing some stretching. Doesn't mean that you can't be doing some visualization. If you're in that 3% of the players who are willing to put in the work to get better, who really believe that the only way to become a better player is to keep working, then the rest of the stuff today is gonna be good for you. So look, here's what I want to know. What's your current tennis and training schedule for this week? What do you got? And I want you to write down right now what you know that you have so far and the days. What have you got so far? Practice matches. If you've got a drill session with another player, if you got an on or off court training session by yourself, could be the gym. It could be what I did yesterday with a ball bag. I've got a ball bag of about, 35, 40 balls. I take it out there, and I just dropped and hit some forehands. I obviously hit some serves, and I did a lot of sprints. I did a lot of lunges, volley lunges. I did a lot of, had the towel laid down, did some V-ups, crunchies, did some planks, did some stretching, and then, so what do you have right now? Write down, what do you have scheduled so far this week for training by yourself? What have you got with a private lesson? Have you got a coach that you're working with, right? Have you got that scheduled? And if you do, write down the day of the week. And look, my advice, which is unpopular with most coaches, because teaching technique is really so easy, right? There's not a lot of effort that you have to, that a coach has to put into it. But in reality, what you need more of is 80%. You got to be working on shot choice and next best court position. And really, this is more of simulating real match point situations, right? So you can work on technique. Sure, we all need to clean up probably a little bit of some technique. Could be forehand, backhand, groundies, could be return to serve, could be volleys, could be approach, transitional shots, could be overhead, right? There could be some technique, but in reality, you don't need to add more technique to that thing to make it better. You probably have to strip away some stuff to make it more simple, to make it more repeatable, more sustainable. So, 20% fine on technique. Make it less. Work on what you can do to cut something out. But this is really where you ought to be. you ought to be working on your lessons in 80%. Shot choice, meaning where do you want the ball to cross the top of the net so that it lands at a specific spot over there in the court? And where do you want to move to next? Well, what are those two things? Well, that's the premise of what's the right shot, right? Group lesson, your coach ought to be doing the same thing. And I think coaches do this more in group lessons. It's probably it's probably more on this 80%, but you got to insist that this is what you need to be working on. What have you got with a Zoom lesson session, right? And one of the things that I do offer is private one-on-one coaching. It is online Zoom. I record it, and so that you get a recording, you get a reference of what we've worked on. For my sessions, they're generally 30 minutes. And if you want to send me video of yourself, I'm more than happy to analyze that with you. We also can use video of me if there's some technique you want to work on, or if there's a specific match play situation you want to work on, we can do that. If you are interested and you want to know how this works, price and all that stuff, send me an email, brent@webtennis.com. What video courses have you bought that you maybe watched once and you haven't seen them since, right? I mean, these video courses, whether it's from me or other online coaches, I mean, some of them are good. Some of them, frankly, aren't that great, but you've probably bought something in the past. And if you have, my bet is that you've watched it once, maybe twice. And that's one of the reasons that my video courses are short and to the point, no fluff, no BS, because I want you to feel like you can go back and repeat and watch this thing, because there's always something in there that you missed the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth time around, that all of a sudden it gets into your head for the fifth time. You go, oh, I get it. Okay. And then you can take that out and then you can start to, use it in your practice matches, use it in your drill session, whatever. Maybe there's an audio course. Maybe there's a book, right? What morning motivation video or audio are you teeing up every morning, right? To get you fired up to do the work that you need to do on a daily basis. How much visualization are you doing, right? Are you scheduling a time during the day or a couple times during the week where you're visualizing something that you want to work on, right? For me, what I do with the visualization, it's more about how do I respond at the end of a point. So I could be playing a top guy and I win the point. Well, how do I want to respond at the end of that point to the beginning of the between points time, right? We get 20, 25 seconds between points. How do I want to respond, whether I just played the greatest running forehand up the line or I just missed and chunked the easiest wide open court volley? How do I want to respond? Well, that's what I visualize when I sit down somewhere quiet on my own, shut my eyes, and see that in my mind, right? And I see it in two ways. Number one, I see it as if I'm inside my head and I'm looking out at the point. And I also see it if I'm a spectator watching myself from the stands. Well, how does that guy respond to that great shot? How does that guy respond to just missing that easy ball? So sometimes, I'll be honest with you, sometimes I think about, well, maybe what if the game was based on just that, on the quality of your response to what just happened at the end of that point? Look, there's no way to measure that. There's no way to judge it, but what if? So, and then other things like massage, right? What are you doing in terms of repairing the body? Because if you're going to do the work, then guess what? If you're going to do the work, then you're going to beat yourself up. And so recovery is like, for me, I know I'm going to do the work. I've got no question about that. I know I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do all those things that I just listed there. But I know at the end of the day, like yesterday, I played some doubles yesterday and energy wise was pretty low. Past 2 days, I'd done a lot of traveling, a lot of driving, and showed up Sunday morning to be able to or to play some doubles. And my energy level just wasn't that. So I kind of worked my way through that or through those 3 sets. And then we played a few points, singles points after that, which I felt a little bit more energetic. But still, at the end of that 2 hours, I knew, look, let's get a little food in the body. Let's relax for a little bit. But then I went out yesterday around 2:15, took my bag of balls and, did my forehands, did my serves. And between each one of those, empty the bag, go pick them up, bring them back, did some sprints, did the core work, right? At the end of it, did some stretching, about an hour plus session. And I was pretty beat up last night. And yet I knew that the first thing I've got to do when I came back is I gotta put a vegan protein shake into the body. I got to start the repair process. And that's what I did for the rest of last night, is start the repair process, right? This morning I feel great. So look, pen and paper, pencil, write this stuff down. And look, if you want to reach out to me, Brent@webtennis.com, you want to share that with me. You want some more ideas of what you can do to keep working, to move the needle, to get better, and to look. I mean, the big killer here is either we're not motivated enough to do the work because it just seems so hard. Because look, you can go out and work your butt off today, and tomorrow you wake up and you're hurt and you're sore and you're tired and you go, man, this is going to be a little tough. Or you work hard today and you go out tomorrow and it doesn't show up. All the work hasn't shown up from yesterday, and you start to doubt. And the big thing for me when I really started working on my game decades ago was to stop the frustration of measuring, well, did I get 5% better yesterday? Right? Am I a little bit better today? And I eventually came to that realization that, look, if you put in the work, and the work, again, meaning all those things that we just went through, if you do that, what are the chances you're going to get better? Like, 110% better. I mean, 110% chances are you're going to get better. It's inevitable, right? So that's really what we're looking for, is what do I have to do to make my improvement as a player inevitable? What's going to guarantee that I move the needle? Well, the only way that you can do that is to put in the work. And I'm sorry if you're in that 97% of players who want to get better, say you want to get better, and you take a lesson and maybe occasionally you do a drill session to kind of tinker with something. That ain't doing the work. That's not going to get it done. This is too tough a game, too tough a sport. So why not decide that you want to get in that 3 to 5% of the players out there? And look, I've always thought about it. I've shared this story a lot about, playing my stuff for the Berkeley Tennis Club, going to the locker, changing shoes, putting on the running shoes, and running that 1 mile from the BTC over Cal Memorial Stadium, which back in the day was wide open. You can't do that anymore, I don't think. But it used to be wide open. And I'd just run over there and run those sections. It was a football-only stadium, just an oval, a bowl, 75 concrete steps going up, and had twinkle toes coming back down because there was no railing. So I had to make sure but I felt that was good, right? Twinkle toeing back down. Well, that must be good for balance and really staying focused, making sure I don't trip and do some damage, and do enough sections eventually where I'd come around to the west side of the stadium at Cal. And you get to the top and you're looking west, you're looking over Berkeley, you're looking over the bay, you're looking at the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm going, no one else is doing this. I'm the only one doing this. The confidence you get from that, the confidence you get from putting in the work every day, whatever that is knowing that you're one of the few guys or gals who are willing to do it. And so I applaud you. My hat goes off to you if you're in that group. And look, I hope that's why you're here. I want to inspire you. I want to motivate you. I want you to get the feeling of what it's like to become better than where you are now, right? And look, there may be, you may not be in the top group, right? You may not be in the A+ group. You may not be in the A- group. You might not be in the B+ group, right? But the point is that if you compare yourself to where you are in relation to those other guys, just not a great mindset. Just get in that mindset that if you do the work on a daily basis, you keep working, that you making it inevitable that you're going to become a better tennis player. And who knows what the limit is, right? If you think age is the limit, you're out of your mind. You are out of your freaking mind. Never believe that age is the thing that is the excuse that you get to use. Well, you know, I'm 60, I'm 65, I'm 70, I'm 75. Look, how many 75-year-olds are doing the work? Not many, not many. So that's good news for you if you're willing to do the work that you're going to close the gap from where you are now to those top guys, if not go beyond. So that's the rant for the day, guys. Anyway, look, if you want to do some private work with me in terms of something you cannot quite figure out in your game, would love to help you. We do it private. It's one-on-one. It's a Zoom session. And I do record it so that you get a reference. I give you the recording. It ends up recording as a video. I also strip out the video out of that version and also make an audio. So you get two files, right? You get the video version and you get the audio version as well. So the audio you can use, maybe it's a motivational thing you can use, whether you're driving, whether you're at the gym doing some work in the headphones, all that kind of stuff. So if that's of interest to you, shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com, and I'll get you the details of how that works. We're almost 27 minutes into it today. So it should be 27 around 7 this morning. Anyway, guys, beautiful day here in the desert. Rancho Mirage, looking forward to my 9 o'clock session with the Big O on the grass. If you're on here, Big O, I'm coming for you, baby. We are going to work today. It's going to be painful. Going to suffer a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. It's all good. Guys, it is time. Get out there today. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, I will see you again tomorrow.